everybody, it's Chris Harrison here with Main Place Real Estate, and today we have another episode of the Main Points with Main Place. Today we have Zach Pearson. Zach is the owner of the Decatur Blaze Hockey Club. So, Zach, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it. And hockey is something that's definitely near and dear to my heart. And I knew when you first came to town, I kind of started going to games, but thought it was time to bring you on air here and tell us a little bit about kind of your background and who are the Decatur Blaze.
Well, I guess a little bit about me is, I'm from Detroit. I've, live and breathe hockey. I grew up played professional for 6 years. Played in when Bloomington had a professional team. Met a girl there, started a family there, and then kind of transplanted here once I retired, and then got into the coaching world.
Nice.
And was up in Bloomington, then moved the team, then moved it to Decatur here.
Okay, perfect. Why Decatur? You were in Bloomington. Why did the team come to Decatur?
Well, when I bought it, we had it in Bloomington, and it was always second fiddle to the pro team there. And I wanted to give kids the junior experience, and part of that was to give them fans. And I knew there wasn't anything in Decatur, so I'm like, all right, well, let's go to an untapped market. So that's why I moved to Decatur.
Perfect. And how has it been for you in Decatur? Has the community embraced it and jumped in?
It has. It was going actually really well, obviously until COVID hit, and now COVID happened, and now we're trying to bring it back.
Yeah, and I think everybody kind of, especially in the entertainment world, which is what you are, got hit by COVID, and I think are just starting to come out of that rebuild right now.
Yeah, it was definitely tough, being a small business and just trying to come back from it and letting people know that we're still here and we survived it, and really educate people on what we're all about.
So, as far as what you're about, who are the kids? Who's playing hockey? And I know they're not from Decatur. Where are these kids from?
Yeah, so our players they're 16 to 20-year-olds, and honestly, we get them from all over the world. We're a stepping stone to get them to higher junior levels or to college, and depending on if we get them from Europe to the pro ranks. Unlike football or baseball or basketball, once they're done with high school, they go to college and they redshirt. Well, in the hockey world, we have juniors. To where instead of redshirting and paying for school for an extra 1 or 2 years, they can come to juniors, and instead of paying 20, 30 grand for college, they could pay anywhere from 8 to 10 grand to play juniors, and then go get their education.
So it really is a developmental league.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. You mentioned rebuilding too, and I want to kind of come back to that. Rebuilding from COVID, but I also know your teams look very different this year. What's different with the team or teams that you have now, actually?
Yeah, so we had a bad year last year, and so I had to strip it down, and we've only asked literally like 2 guys to come back, and then we had a premier team is what it's called, and in essence they're a varsity team. And we add an elite team this year, aka a JV team.
Sure.
And so we stripped it down on basically we're doing a whole new rebuild. So we're going younger, and all summer I was out recruiting. I brought in a whole new staff, a coaching staff, and we just I've been all over the world. I've been over in Sweden, I've been over in Europe, I've been in Chicago, Vegas, Boston, all throughout the summer, recruiting. And people don't understand of I'm all over the country, throughout the summer recruiting these players, because like you said earlier, like they're not local kids. We would like to get local kids, don't get me wrong. Right. But that's just not, something we have, in the market here.
The pool isn't here that you need.
Correct.
Yeah.
There's a couple players that definitely could play for us for sure, but their goals aren't what, they don't want to take that level. So we got to go outside of here, and so that's what we do.
Right.
And so I got to go get those players, and I'm competing against in our league. There's 70, 80 teams in our league that are doing exactly what we're doing, and then there's 2 other leagues that do exactly what we do. So you're, by the time it's said and done, you're competing against 200 teams, at our level, and each team can have up to 30 kids. So
Right.
it's a sales job.
Yep.
And why are they coming to you? What's your background? What are you gonna do different over somebody else? So it's a lot. So not only did we add that second team this year, one thing that actually I don't think you even know is I actually started a non-for-profit this year as well.
Oh, really?
The
Great.
Blaze Foundation that we're getting going as well, to where we want to use that to give back a little bit more to the community, and bring more awareness to hockey in the community. We want to try to get inner city kids more involved in hockey. We want to start a program with where we have the youth program write letters, and we want to sponsor 3 kids and cover their dues for hockey in the youth program. But not only do we want to cover their dues, we want to cover like any showcases or tournaments that they go to. Because in Decatur, there's not much of a middle class. So, like, you either have money or you don't, and we want to make sure that if anybody wants to play hockey, that they have the ability to do that. And a lot of tournaments for the youth program, they're at the Dells.
Right.
It's no secret if you go to the Dells, a hotel's $200 a night, and we don't want to deprive anybody of that.
Right.
So those are a couple things that we got going. So we got a lot going on, and a lot of moving parts are going on.
Right. Well, that's great to hear about the foundation you have. I know I follow your Facebook page, and you take kids to the guys to Boo at the Zoo or different things, volunteering in the community.
Yep.
How many guys do you have in town now on both teams, basically?
Right now, I believe 46 or 47 right now.
Okay. Great.
When we get to this many, I get sometimes.
Right. Where's the number at?
Yeah. Because then we got some guys who come in at part-time.
Sure.
We're on that 46, 47 guys right now.
And most of the kids, are they with billet families?
All of them, either they're with billet families or we have a house. One of the players' dads bought a house in Forsyth, where we'll put quite a few players at. We're a coaching staff. We'll have a coach there. But other than that, they're with billet families. Where families will open up their house and take one, two, three, up to 4 players.
Yeah. How many different billet families do you have?
Oh, that's a question for Tanya Hobner. I stay in my lane.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it's got to be at least a dozen or 15.
I would say there's probably anywhere from 8 to 12, I would say. Like Shell Long, she's been with us from the very beginning, and she's gone through a lot. I don't know if you know that name very well, but she lost her husband, a while back, and we helped raise money for them to go do some things. And then, then Matthew got, some tragic news, and he got the cancer, and we helped raise money for that. And then I was able to, he's a big Red Wings fan, and kind of funny enough is I played Division I at Fair State, and the coach who recruited me there is actually Derek Lalonde, who's now the head coach for the Red Wings. So he's a friend of mine.
Oh, wow.
So I was able to get him a clip. I don't know, like a year ago, I texted Lalonde, and I was like, hey, here's a scenario. Give me a 15-second clip of, just, give him some inspiration. He did. Wow. And actually, it was Matthew's birthday, I think like 3 days ago. So I texted Derek again, and I was like, hey, just so you know, it's his birthday, and he survived.
Nice.
And he beat it, and he gave another one.
That's awesome.
So it was pretty good. But yeah, so the billet families, without them, we don't have a team.
Right.
And we're always looking for more, especially with the 2 teams. So if anybody's interested, reach out to Tanya Hobner.
Perfect. Very good.
And you go on the website for that.
Without the billet families, obviously the team can't be here. But, I think another thing to talk about is the Civic Center that we have. And, I've spent a lot of time there, and I'm sure you could give me a list of things you'd like to have upgraded in the Civic Center. But at the same time, what a great facility. I mean, to have it right in the middle of town and in the downtown vibe, and to have a clean sheet of ice to go play your games. How is it playing in the Civic Center?
I like it. Actually, I don't have
Okay,
a bunch of complaints.
great.
Um, over the years they've been very, very good with us, and um, it's a business rate, and I've said like some better times on certain things, but you know what, they got to take care of them too.
Right.
I get good times on Saturdays. Would I like my Friday times to be a little bit better? But I know that they got to do what's best for them too, and so I understand that, and I'm okay with that.
Right.
Talking to other teams and what the setups they have, I think we have probably the best setup out of everybody. Do I wish the locker rooms in there were bigger? Sure. But, once we got that second, the Craft Hockeyville, this is what,
Yep.
6-7 years ago. And,
Oh yeah.
and we got it matched by an anonymous donor. I think they cleaned those locker rooms up. And, I think one of the advantages of COVID happening is, they're helping small business out with some good loans. And I was able to, thanks to, one of my buddies, Chili, I was able to purchase a place across the street from it. And, I made that our locker room. So we have a 5,000 square foot facility where, I was able to, luckily I'm fairly handy.
Right. But that's kind of your clubhouse.
That's our
right?
clubhouse, yeah.
Yeah.
I put artificial ice in there. We have AstroTurf, a gym, players lounge, showers, washer, dryer. I mean, anything you can think of that, players need, we have there. Coach's office, video, stuff like that. So, in a perfect world, it'd be great if we had it at the rink, but
Right. You're across the parking lot.
We're across the parking lot, so it's not the end of the world.
Right.
But it worked out well. I like our rink. I think it's really good.
Good. Very good. Well, and again, the reason we're doing this is we want to help promote what you're doing, what you're doing with the Blaze, what you're doing at the Civic Center, what's happening in Decatur. That's really the premise of what this podcast is what is happening in Decatur and give people opportunities. So I think generally for the fan out there, when the Blaze are in town for a weekend, you're typically playing Friday, Saturday, Sunday, sometimes not the Sunday. The Friday games are kind of in the afternoon, early evening, which for me is kind of fun. Actually, the first week I was down there at the Elite game at 2:30 in the afternoon on Friday afternoon and watching some hockey, and it goes into Friday night. Saturday is kind of prime time. What time are the Elite games on Saturdays? Around 4 or so?
Yeah, they're about 4:30.
Okay.
4:45, and then the premiere starts at about that 7:45 right after.
Yeah. So you got prime time Saturday night action.
Yep, that's the good one. And one thing we're trying to work on right now with the foundation is we're trying a day game where we try to get a bunch of the schools out and try to pack the place is what we're trying to do.
Oh, okay.
But it's a process, right?
Right.
So
yeah.
we're working on it.
Nice.
So we're trying to get the word out there as best we can.
Good. Well, very good. Well, I in closing, I guess, do you have anything else to add or?
No, I think we hit quite a bit.
Okay.
I think it just, the biggest thing is just getting the word out that, hey, we're here, and, it's, tickets are, $10, but if you can, we're out there in the community lot, and, we're constantly handing out free stuff and free tickets, and, come check us out, and, it's a good time.
Absolutely. And again, I think we're fortunate to have it here. I'm excited you have two teams. The Friday afternoon, early evening, it's an event. You've got people, you've got the Caddy Shack is there making sandwiches. There's a bar, there's concessions. You're selling spiritware. I mean, you got what's your mascot's name? Is it
Puck?
Yep. He's walking around banging the drum, and so it really is a night of entertainment, and we're going to be giving away tickets on our Facebook page too. So stay tuned to that. And again, when the Blaze are in town, I think it'd be great for people to come check you guys out.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us, and that was another episode of the Main Points with Main Place. To check out past or future Main Points, find us at YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts.